I've known for a few years that the boat was due to be blacked. I had a few options in front of me. One was paying somebody to do it for me, and the quote I got was around about £3,000, and that would involve boat removal, stripping back to bare metal, a 2-pack epoxy coating, and then back in the water. But I always wanted to be a bit involved in the process, really. So when I asked the guy if there could possibly be a reduction in the bill if I was to help in terms of labour, he wasn't really interested. And I don't blame him for that, but he didn't really want me poking about the place while he was trying to get on with his work. So while that was an option, it was an expensive option, and it was an option that really didn't appeal to me because I wanted to be a bit more involved. Second option I had was to have the boat taken out on a piece of farmland close to where I live. I live near the canal, and I know a local farmer. And while he was willing to let me use his land, it wasn't fully covered. It was tarpaulin covered, so I was a little bit exposed to the weather. And I would need to pay for the removal and replacement of the boat, which came out around about £500. Now, that was a viable option. It was a cheaper option than the full 2-pack epoxy service, but there was already a boat in the place, and this is what's delayed the whole process a little bit, because that boat was due to be put back in the water and never did happen. So that space never came about, and I was pushing and pushing and pushing the farmer, and I ended up giving up on that idea. So my third option was taking the boat into the marina, paying for the hire of the boatyard, and doing it myself. And obviously that was a bit more expensive than the farmland option, but a lot less expensive than the full-on service I got quoted for. So that became my preferred option. The boat was booked into St Mary's Marina in Rufford. Have to shout out the two people that run St Mary's Marina in Rufford, Abby and Mike. They were absolutely fantastic. They supported me through the whole process. They advised on best practices. Mike has blacked lots of boats. You know, he was able to advise on how I should proportion the time between preparation and paint, which was extremely useful. And the boat was booked in for early April for 4 days, and I was quite looking forward to spending a bit of time underneath the boat, learning a lot more about the underneath of the boat. I've completely painted the top half of the boat myself, so I was quite looking forward to painting the bottom half of the boat myself. But then I had to research products, and this was a bit of a minefield. So if you are currently thinking about blacking your boat and it's your first time, you've not done it before, when you do your research in and around different types of blacking, what you will find is a wide variety of varying opinions regarding different products and different processes and different procedures. So I read them all. I considered what the boat had previously had, which was a strip back to bare metal and a 2-pack epoxy coating. I had a receipt for that, but that was way back in 2010. So I knew what had been done to the boat previously. The previous owner did also tell me it had been out of the water during his ownership, but had been bitumen blacked, although I had no proof of that, so couldn't be 100% certain that had taken place. So after a bit of to and froing and umming and ahhing, I ended up opting for the SML Ballistic 2-pack epoxy product. It's a product formulated specifically to be applied to previously 2-packed surfaces. And I felt it was the right product that fitted my bill. So I ordered the starter kit from SML Paints, a link to which I'll put in the description. And I was all ready for the boat to be removed from the water and the blacking to be completed. Got to say, you worked really hard jet washing the bottom of that hull. I remember when I was in the office and I sort of said to him, why can't I bring my own jet wash and do it myself? And he gave me a bit of a laugh, and now I totally understand why, because he worked really hard on that hull. So we're just at the end of day one. I've had enough. I've been grinding away at this since 6:30 this morning, 7 o'clock this morning. There was a couple of battle scars, which were to be expected. The anodes are pre-booked. There was a couple of pitting marks and a couple of battle scars that needed filling, which again is to be expected. And I also got him just to fit a new piece at the bottom here because there was a little bit of free play there, so that's good for another bunch of years, I guess. I've given the prop once over, so it's looking really good. Everything looks really good under here. I'm chuffed with it. I'm absolutely chuffed with it on the basis that I've never seen underneath. It just looks really good. And I'll tell you something for nothing. If anybody is in the market to get a narrowboat, I would strongly suggest you get it stripped back to bare metal and 2-pack epoxy coated, because I tell you something, that coating is not coming off. that boat, and it's been there for so many years, but it's not going to come off. The bits that are going to come off have come off, and that's what's left for me to paint on tomorrow. You can see there's a couple of pits that have been done. There was a guy made a comment yesterday about I looked it good, he thought I'd just finished it. I said I'm only just starting it. So there's a couple more there. Plan for tomorrow is to get back over early doors, give it another once over with the grinder, and then give it its first coat of SML 2-pack epoxy, SML ballast I think it's called. I'll put the reference in the description. I think this is the worst side. You can see there's a couple of small marks. I basically got him to do them because he was here. Again, quite small marks, but while he was here I asked him to do them and he was quite happy to do them. Slightly bigger one was this one here, which was only slightly more serious, but he felt it warranted a bit of a plate putting over it. And likewise here, those pits were a little bit bigger than what he wanted to weld on, so he went with the safe option of putting a plate over it, which is absolutely fine by me. He is the expert. So I'm gonna go and have a chilled out evening on the lake doing a bit of fishing, and I'll be back here early doors for day 2. Quite enjoyed it so far. Weather's been quite pleasant. It's been quite a dirty job, but I like getting my hands dirty. Everything looks okay. Nothing serious. All looks good for another bunch of years, I guess. So I will catch up with you at some point throughout the duration of this little episode, this little adventure, I guess. Thanks for watching. Good afternoon. Just on the end of day 2. It's had its first coat of blacking. I went for the SML ballistic epoxy. We mixed 5 litres. My boat is 40 foot and there was absolutely plenty to get a full coat on. So if you are using the same product and you've got a boat of a similar size, their estimated coverages are quite conservative and it goes on really well. Chuffed with the finish. Well, chuffed with the first coat. Interested to see how it dries and cures. Nothing we can do really now until the second coat tomorrow. But I'm really happy with how it's looking. Really happy with how it's looking. Even after just one coat, it's gone on really well. Seems to have stuck, hopefully like glue. And I'm sure after a nice liberal second coat tomorrow, it will be looking absolutely stunning. I'm chuffed with the progress of my first ever blacking project, and I wouldn't hesitate, anybody who doesn't mind a little bit of graft, to save yourself a bunch of pounds and have a go at it yourself. I've planned 3 days, 4 days in to do this, and to be honest with you, I have been here from about 7 and I have had an extra pair of hands today, but I do feel I could have got it done myself, although I would have been at it for probably another 6 hours or so today, which, to be honest, it's about 2:30 p.m, so it is definitely doable with one person. And to be fair, the hard work is all in the preparation, as they say, so I feel hopefully the finish will look even better tomorrow. But for now, I'm absolutely chuffed with that.
End of day 3, and I'm not doing any more painting. I've used up all the blacking, even had enough to do my bilges, which was awesome. I even done a bit of green on the sides. I don't know what they're called, there is a boaty term for the sides, but I've sanded them down and give them a coat of green as well. So I'm claiming this little project, well, nearly done. There's a couple of other bits and bobs to do tomorrow, some odds and ends that need sorting out before it goes back in the water about 10 o'clock. But that's what a little bit of graft and a little bit of effort get you. Pretty chuffed with the end result. Gonna see if I can leave these doors open for the night to let some nice air blow through. Let's go back in the water tomorrow. Happy days.